Okay, our special guest today is about to amaze you and inspire you in the most practical of ways. Stephanie from Seattle Zero Waste, welcome to Spirit 105.3. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I got the kid in front of the TV, and so she shouldn't come in, but if she does, it makes for some good radio, I think.
I am 100% on your side, and I love that so much. I really appreciate your time. Would you just start out by sharing a little bit about your story?
Sure. Well, I like to say that it really started when I was a kid. I suppose the seeds that were planted when I was a kid by my parents helped me adopt a zero waste lifestyle. I'll quickly say my dad was and still is a master woodworker. My mom is a fantastic food artisan. And so they taught me the importance of beauty, craftsmanship, self-sufficiency, and, just conserving resources and thinking about resources. So yeah, in 2010, I ran across a blog called Zero Waste Home by Bea Johnson. And that's where my journey started. Bea wrote a book called Zero Waste Home. In the book, she introduces her 5 R's of the zero waste lifestyle, which I can certainly get into if you want to hear them.
Sure, absolutely.
The 5 R's are refuse what you do not need, reduce what you do need, reuse what you cannot refuse or reduce, recycle what you cannot refuse, reduce, reuse, and then rot or compost the rest. So kind of a simple formula that I started to follow, and it helped me over time to reduce my waste. But of course, it had many other benefits besides just reducing waste.
Yeah. How has it changed your life for the better, Stephanie? Because it can't be easy.
Well, I like to say, 2 things. The easy part, because it's a lifestyle and it involves habits, practices. And so if you're changing a lifestyle, whether it's what you eat or exercising, whatever it is, it takes time. Like if you're trying to declutter your house, if it's filled to the brim, you didn't fill it overnight, so you can't empty it overnight. So I would say that I started this over a decade ago, so it just takes time. And so it does get easier, just like any lifestyle changes would. But, as far as the benefits, there's a lot of intangibles. There are things like you can save money. There is some time-saving aspect to it, but really it's helped me to be intentional. So I'm intentional about my purchases. I plan ahead. More often than not, take time to acquire things that we might need. So there's intentionality. It's helped me practice contentment, patience, joyfulness, and gratitude.
Wow.
But I think I might say one other thing too, is it affects your relationships. And for me, in a positive way, not only with family and friends, but with like my local business owners. So if I need to, for instance, bring a pair of shoes to the repair shop, I start to make a relationship with the people who repair my shoes or the local farmers at the farmers market. And, of course, I would say ultimately, too, it can affect your relationship with God, possessions, time, money. It really can touch those areas if you let it.
I think that's beautiful. And you know what else is beautiful? Something you do, you open people's eyes, Stephanie, to how much we're wasting. So what does that feel like?
It's fun. It's really fun. What I've noticed when people start to think about whether it's their own personal waste or collective waste, it's usually when they see a practical item that our family uses. So like this is an older example because my kids are out of diapers, but when they were little and in diapers, we used cloth diapers and cloth wipes. And so people would naturally ask us questions like, how do you do it? And we would do it outside of the home too. And we would travel, when we would go to church or wherever we were going. And so that automatically got people thinking about their own practices and like, oh, wow, the disposable equivalent of this reusable item. They start to think about the sheer amount of waste that we produce. And there's no judgment or shame on anyone who would be using disposable diapers or whatever the thing might be. But when you see a zero waste alternative or a low waste alternative to something that you use in your everyday, it's so fun to get people thinking about those things. And even food waste, composting is a big one too, when people realize, oh, I can really cut down what goes in my garbage by just diverting food waste to either a backyard compost or my yard waste bin that the city picks up.
Yeah. And spending time outside is a good thing, too. That's good for the soul.
Oh, yes. Amen, sister. Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm curious, what is an indulgence to you, Stephanie? I mean, what are the exceptions that you make?
Well, I have one in mind. It might seem small and trivial. And I will from the outset say that our family still buys certain things in packaging, so it's not like we are completely waste-free. It's sometimes hard to avoid, but it's in the kitchen. I like to give a food item because the room that creates the most waste in the house is the kitchen. And so for me, it's seaweed snacks.
Oh, yes.
The dried seaweed that comes in like a little plastic container that's wrapped in a non-recyclable packaging. And like to really get satisfied, you need about like 10 of them. So when I have room in my like waste budget, that's what I go for.
Your waste budget, that is so fantastic. Okay, so for somebody who's a total beginner, Stephanie, what are 2 tips that maybe we could incorporate into our lives today?
Okay, maybe this counts as one, but I'll just say it. Just start somewhere. So that might be the first one. Just start somewhere. Don't overthink it, and start somewhere easy. Or another way of saying it is something that's really glaring, something that's big. I guess, yeah. Oh, don't overthink it. Start somewhere and start small or start easy. Once you get that going, maybe add in another habit. So it might be for someone, it's having a system to always have reusable bags in their car when they go to the grocery store or the hardware store. So, yeah, I want to keep it a little general. But, yeah, don't overthink it. Just start somewhere and have fun with it. Have fun with it.
Okay, I like this a lot. I have a PhD in overthinking, so I'm going to take your advice on this. And I love that. It's so true. I have so many bags sitting in a box under my bed, cloth bags that I can just throw in my car this afternoon.
Yeah, and then maybe find a spot that's close to the door to fold some up and put them there so that when you need to replenish, they're right there. And again, have fun with it. Have it be a fun challenge.
I just absolutely love everything you said. Stephanie from Seattle Zero Waste, we hope you'll come back. You're terrific.
Oh, thanks, Erica. I appreciate it.